welcome back to another Red Dwarf Review TV podcast, Thingamajig Series 11.
Mm-hmm.
I need to come up with better titles. It's just TV Review podcast. It's either Sonic Boom or Red Dwarf, but hey, episode 3 now.
Yeah.
A lot further than we got with Series 8 of Doctor Who.
Exactly. Well, it's given or take a week from when we recorded this, but we got there in the end.
Yeah, it's just scheduling, and not to mention, oh hey, we're gonna do this yesterday. We're gonna do this today. Well, we could have done this recording yesterday of this recording, but we couldn't because A, again, a 5-hour time difference, and B, Halloween is coming, so we had to go shopping for that.
All right. I was just going to leave it at the give and take joke, but that's okay if you want to tell them.
Well, it's the give and take thing, and that's the episode, give and take.
Exactly.
Finally, we got one that actually is an actual title, not just a question.
Well, it makes more sense. You kind of get.
Yeah. So the episode kind of starts up with just.
We start with Rimmer having an argument with the lift.
Yeah, I've only watched this once. I need a time to rewatch it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just trying to remember because I watched both of them, both episode 3 and episode 4 in succession. So I'm trying to remember splitting them apart.
Yeah.
So arguing with a lift, and this basically just the general arguments like with reminiscent of the last episode of Series 8.
Yeah. I was going to say it's funny because in this series, and I think from last series, we see more of the sort of all the sort of different machines on the Red Dwarf all have their own like.
They have all have an AI.
Yeah, they all have their own.
Like especially like episode 2 of Series 1, the food dispenser had a lisp.
Yeah, the food dispenser. Yeah.
It had a lisp as well.
Yeah, that was Tony Hawk's.
Yeah. It comes up to Lister being asleep for 2 days and waking up to discover
there's a new ship just nearby them.
Yeah, another derelict.
Yeah, another derelict spaceship, because that's what they do.
Which will be a running theme.
Yeah, but there's always been a theme in Red Dwarf anyway.
With this one, it's particularly a running theme, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. And
they say, we can go on there, see what it is, go another 5 hours before the asteroid storm hits.
Yeah.
They both go on, want to split up, but like, okay, I'm the second technician, the superior crew member.
Superior in command, okay. So I get to choose.
Crichton, don't want you. Cat, don't want you.
Don't want you.
Lister, why is there no one good on this team?
Yes.
And again, typically, he goes with Crichton.
Yeah. That's always the case, basically. It's Rimmer and Crichton and Lister and the Cat.
Yeah, we never actually that's the thing, we never actually see Rimmer and Cat together that often.
Not too much, apart from the beginning. That's the only other time I could, off the top of my head at least.
Yeah. We should actually do more Cat and Rimmer stuff, because we barely see that. Cat and Crichton is fun, because you have highest intelligence and the lowest intelligence.
Yeah, well, basically, you have one who's clearly sincere, and the other one who's just ego-vain and self-centered.
The ship, the Cat and Lister encounter a cyborg surgeon.
Yeah, which, by the way, a lot of the advertisement in the run-up to this, they showed a lot of the robot, which was called, give me a second, it's a Greek word, Appliceus, I think?
Appliceus. Appliceus?
Yes, exactly. All right.
The word is here. Read it and pronounce it yourself, because they do so in the episode, and I can't remember how to pronounce it.
Yeah, so blame my bad grammar. Anyway.
Appliceus, I think.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, this was like one of the big things they kept advertising and showing off, and I remember like the first image they showed off of this thing, which at first, funny enough, one thing I'll bring up now is that with Series 11 and 12, I mean, you think, I personally thought like, there'll be more money in this, although apparently there's even less money than they did last time, but I do think they've spent it much better now. And when I first saw the image of the robot, I did think to myself, like, I bet the head's just made up of bits and bobs and typical stuff, because that's how Red Dwarf works. You know, a lot of the costumes are just like, what's lying around?
It's just junk lying around. Like, I think one of the costume designers in Series 3.
Yeah,
there's like Lister's new costume. It was just like, why the hell would he tie a bandana around his leg?
Yeah. It probably just looks good.
At least they keep the jacket. For ever since Series 3, that jacket's been a staple of Lister.
Yeah, basically the tattered up jacket with the scarves and all that stuff.
As far as the actual monsters, this one I think looked a bit cheap, but then again...
Yeah. But no, this is the point I'm going to make, because funny enough, I thought this would be the typical, they bodged it together with bits and bobs, but apparently this was built and designed, and you'll be surprised, Dan, by Millennial Effects, the guys who do all the prosthetic monsters and creatures for Doctor Who.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. There's that, again, and there's also another character we'll bring up in a minute as well that was also done. But yeah, I was generally surprised about that, because I did not think, I didn't know they had wouldn't expect them to work on Red Dwarf, but hey, there you go.
Well, maybe they're big fans.
Exactly. I mean, well, we got the model unit, which is mostly comprised of old, the miniature guys from Red Dwarf, so there you go.
Yeah. Well, the cyborg actually captures them.
Yeah. Well, not particularly. It's a great gag where he talks. It's a great gag where he talks like, I recently had this little tiny peculiarities that are going totally insane. But don't worry about that. See, there's a notice there, and he points at there's literally a piece of paper stuck to a wall with "I'm no longer insane" written in blood.
See, the all clear.
Yeah, see, all clear.
He captures Captain Lister and performs the surgery, which it kind of reminds me of the insane doctor from BioShock 1.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, the thing that reminded me the most about this thing is that it reminds me of Dr. Sushan from BioShock mixed in with, what's the surgeon's guy? The surgeon one. What's his name?
I can't remember, it's been too long.
Yeah, basically, the Asian doctor, the surgical madman, basically, imagine those two put together and built as a mechanical Patreon from BioShock Infinite.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's been way too long since I played the BioShock trilogy.
That was the thing that popped into my head when I first saw the visual of this character and even what he was doing.
Crichton and River, on the other hand, walk into like the brig and find a robot and says, he's the most advanced droid there is. It's got 4 buttons.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like I said, I didn't know they also designed this, which is currently the robot they mistaken as a surgeon as Snacky. The automated.
Don't spoil the joke.
Well, it's kind of obvious if you see what it is.
It's like 4 buttons, and I'm trying to work out what do the 4 buttons mean. Chocolate, candy, fruit, and nut.
Yeah, and it's basically Robbie the Robot meets. It's kind of an old, imagine like old Doctor Who sort of cheap budget robot type deal.
Yeah, it's most likely Robbie. I'm thinking of the one from Lost in Space, a TV show.
Yeah, I was just saying that one. I think that's got a different name. I can't remember what that robot's name is. But Robbie the Robot from the Forbidden Planet, that's the main thing you probably get from it.
Or maybe I was gonna say Marvin from Hitchhikers, but no.
Well, kind of, except this one's not depressed.
Yeah, well, especially not the TV show.
Yeah. Oh god, he's morbid. You're probably going to slit your throat being with him for an hour.
They meet up with Snacky, who they think is a surgeon.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at that point Rimmer doesn't actually lie, say he's the commanding officer, he's the captain, say, no, I'm second technician, and I'll clean out chicken soup dispensers.
Yeah. Well, the fact he also...
is a sanitation droid, and he does all this very mucky stuff which janitors do, and he's like, you don't have to sell me like that.
Exactly, he gets like, sir, you didn't have to tell him that. You can give him that praise.
Well, that's what he does. Is like, what's his punishment? Oh, he has to clean 40 smog. What the fuck would the surgeons wear? Smocks?
Well, let's be fair. What we consider an awful thing to do for cleaning is joy to Crichton. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's like filthy
walls, filthy floors, mop and bucket. I was in hog heaven, sir.
That's so, anything filthy is just
joy. Yeah, and even in Samsara, it's like I love dust. It's my all-time favorite next to fluff.
Eventually we come back to Lister and Cat. They're knocked out, and the surgeon has taken out Lister's kidneys.
Yeah, and we get our first. Surprisingly, this is the first episode we get to see the bazookoids in action.
Yeah, I'm surprised they've gone back to the original bazookas, not the shorter ones.
Yeah. I think there is one problem I do have with this, and this is just my nitpick, but whatever. Listen with me. The one problem I have is the shootout. It's well done. Like, basically, they have the shootout and then running off to Starbuck thing. But my only problem with it is the sound effects they use for like when they hit the surgeon, it's just the typical like ba-ding, ba-ding kind of stuff, kind of the stock sound effect you get. And again, it's even when he shoots out like these. There's a bit where he shoots out Crichton's head, which is this. Again, it's just this generic cartoony sound effects.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, exactly. And
that works when Crichton's getting hit with the tranquilizers.
Yeah, when he gets hit, but I'm just saying the bit where he actually shoots out, it sounds like thump 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 noise, which.
Well, for something that's like, for the surgeon shooting, I would argue that's pretty much what like a blowpipe would be, especially for a tranquilizer dart. But the bazookoid ones, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying
it's meant to be a mining thing. Like it's like a small concentrated blow of dynamite.
Yeah, and we've heard them before. We've heard them used in the previous series of a sort of noise, which I'm surprised they didn't use it for this one. Again, it's just a minor nitpick. Normally when you hear that, it takes the illusion away of what in the sort of, you want to believe in the sort of weird world that you're in, and sometimes that always brings it up to thinking, nah, this doesn't fit in with the imagery. That's my beef really with sound effects. If the sound doesn't fit with the imagery, then there's that disconnect, but that's my gripe, whatever, so.
Yeah, well, cheaper budget, so probably didn't have enough money for
exactly, exactly, yeah. But we do get, surprisingly enough, a rather surprisingly good guest ship, and I think that's all done in CG. In fact, actually, speaking of which, a lot of like I said, there's still miniatures used in this series, although the CG they've used this time does look pretty good. In fact, I would say up to Doctor Who quality standards at times.
Well, I wouldn't say as far as, I'll say...
No.
I would say better than the Doctor Witt on the wardrobe.
Yeah, definitely. I won't go on that, yeah. But I'm just saying...
That's the worst CG. Never mind Series 1, that's the worst CG.
Yeah, well, that and, here's some wooden men, that's clearly not wooden, but that's a different story. But yeah, I did think, like, them running out to starboard, that was actually quite a nice little thrilling sequence.
Yeah, especially with the surgeon chasing them.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I was going to say, but the one thing I'm surprised is, did you not think he would come? Didn't you not think thinking, oh, he's going to escape and he will reappear at the end of the episode or something?
I expected it to.
Yeah, exactly. You expect. I mean, this is the thing. This is always the story trope, is in you think you got rid of the villain, and it's like, oh, it blew up, we're all fine now, and then it pops back up. It's like surprise, and didn't do it.
Yeah, it's like Emo Hog did it better. It wasn't a good episode, but Emo Hog did it better by actually saying, oh yeah, the Emo Hog gets a threat for an episode. This one threat was only in the first half, or even the first third.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just one of. Sorry.
So pretty much the build-up of this one character, which looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all you get of him.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but that's what advertisement does. It promises you one thing, but doesn't deliver the full thing.
Again, with Dr. Witt on a wardrobe, Bill Bailey.
Yeah,
we're not letting that go.
Yeah, well, that's
not at all.
That's episode's names for you.
And we're going back, and this is obviously in the med bay, and and pretty good conversations compared to Samsara with the Lister
the cat. Yeah, I mean, particularly so I give you one of my kidneys, and what do you give me?
Yeah, it's the build-up, really. It's just because previous to that, you kind of jumped ahead. Is Rimmer saying, "I didn't tell you going to say that about how Lister does not have any kidneys."
Yeah, and even the link there, but the kidneys lost in friendly fire, whose frame was this friendly fire shot from? Put it there, old pal. Yeah,
and they're trying to say, you have to ask the cat for kidneys. First of all, I don't think cat's kidneys will be compatible with human kidneys, despite evolution, and depending on where they are, considering it's all color coordinated.
Yeah.
So that was like a really good. That's a good gag in.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So it's like, the cat hasn't given anything, and I would say I would deny that because in Gundam Union Apocalypse he has some good ideas.
Yeah.
And he has been quite helpful. He's never done something selfish. So it's always been very selfish.
Yeah, but this is the thing, because really since pretty much Back to Earth, well, even after Back to Earth, around 10 and onwards, it's like this is back to more him being a bit of a loner now, because when he started off, he was kind of like the oddball person who just comes in and out, does his thing. Now it's sort of back to doing that.
Yeah, it's like pre-Series 5.
Yeah.
Like series 4 still was still a bit selfish, but at the same time
He was a bit like an outsider in terms of the rest of the crew, but
because they couldn't write any good episodes for him, and when he had a good episode, they couldn't fucking film it.
That's it. Well, well, that's the thing. It's identity within. I mean, that was a good idea there, though. People argue about the way it is, the way that episode was going to end up being wasn't good enough anyway.
Well, series 7 was the drama comedy evolution of the series.
It was, yeah. Yeah,
so,
but
we had episodes called Blue and Epideme.
Yeah, exactly.
They were very heavy-handed on the drama, especially the fact there was no laugh track.
Well, officially,
no audience, audience, yeah.
Yeah. But that said, we got a can of worms to go, but we won't open that soon.
So, moving on, Cat started trying to persuade the cat, and it's like, no, like, okay. It's like, I would need you to give me one of your kidneys. Mm-hmm. But what do I get? A hole.
A hole. Yeah.
Can you give me a hole? My gift to you.
My gift to you, yeah. There's even a little bit where he says, like, I'm just going to come straight out with you. I think, how do you give me one of your kidneys? But this is fish. Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of jumping around this one scene.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, yeah.
It's just the cat's selfish nature. It's like, oh yeah, here you go, Mr. Lister. Ah, thank you. He just takes the vitamin shot. Like
he just takes off the food he's been given. So that's him.
Well, he did it in series 10 as well.
Yeah.
Which turned out to be Lister's.
Well, yeah, exactly. Split.
Yeah, we got one pork, one rib, and one steak. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a good payoff for that joke.
Yeah, exactly. We also have there's a scene in which, by the way, actually, one fact is that this episode, did I tell about this was the episode that was filmed first, or did I not say that yet?
I don't think you did. I can't remember.
All right, because I'll get onto that bit. All right. We also get a scene involving Rimmer confining with Snacky, which they still don't know at this point. His sudden realization that his father isn't his father and his mother is still his mother.
Who was a bitch queen from hell.
Exactly, yeah. So
I just recently watched through series 5, so
yeah, exactly her again. But yeah, one of the funny facts: this episode was the first episode to be filmed in that week. So even though it came out as the third episode, it was the first to be filmed on the order of 11. And again, it's the first time in the series we've seen Rimmer sort of going back to the whole and finding out that your father isn't you really are. You're more like Lister than anybody else. In terms of
I like the throwbacks to certain things, like also in series 10 with Fathers and Sons, where Lister is like, yeah, he's embracing that as his own dad. Yeah,
it goes back to the fact of, you realise you're your own father, which in there it was done for dramatics. Here it's actually exploiting it more for comedy.
And it works if you get blind drunk and can't remember what you wrote for Father's Day gift.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised. The one thing that surprised me is how long Snacky didn't let them know. Well, obviously, throughout the episode, he tries to tell them without sort of fully embarrassing everyone, but, he does quite a long time before he reveals who he really is. In fact, even in that whole bit where he's finding with Rimmer, which he says nothing, he's purposely got his back towards him all the time, so it's...
Yeah. And it comes, at the end, there's this like, ding! Does that mean that time's up?
Yeah.
Low on pretzels.
Yeah, exactly.
I still wonder what the 4 buttons actually fucking do.
Yeah, well...
which button is pretzels, or is there a combination? Do I hit blue and yellow for pretzels, or is it blue and green?
Yeah, well, knowing a Red Dwarf universe, it mixes the two together, so...
Well, for all I know, I'm gonna get blackcurrant colloidal blancmange with 2 creams and sugar.
Yeah. But either way, when they find out that the cat's not... Well, next up is the fact that they decide the best way to get cat's kidneys is frightened to lie to him, which, surprisingly, he's gotten a bit better at now.
Yeah, but he still has to stutter. I don't know, I think the jiggling leg was...
Yeah, the jiggling leg, yeah, his jiggling leg.
I believe it's in heaven. You can have that damn medical shit!
Right then! Yeah, that'll business.
I fucking love that episode.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically he does like a sort of reverse psychology of saying it's not Mr. Lister who needs kidneys, it's you, sir, that needs new kidneys.
Yes, I gotta tell. And he just sucks up to Lister. It's just like, I'm going to take you in.
Techie, 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 techie.
Tuck.
Yeah, but, oh.
So if I moved in kissing, you, and he's with you, I will give them the noise. All right, let's get this one going. All right, sign this.
Yeah.
And eventually Tim is saying, White lies saying, oh, it's not the cat who needs.
Well, he reveals it. It's like, it's not you that needs your kidney, sir. It's Mr. Lister. And then immediately tries to just knock him out with the syringe thing.
Yeah, and Danny's pratfall is fantastic.
Yeah, if there's one thing Danny is the king of, is the falling over straight thing. I mean, I'm trying to think how many times he's done it now. I mean, he did it in Justice, where he whacked
and Epideme. Oh my God! Shouldn't.
Yeah, that
and later in the same scene, he's still
there.
The same position, still holding his finger up.
Yeah, it's still up, and even in Back to Earth, actually, where Lister's typing out like for Rimmer to dance around and kick his groin in, and then Crichton getting constantly hit in the face with rakes, and then he gets hit in the rakes, and
yeah,
that's one thing that
I completely forgot about that. Back to Earth wasn't a good series. It was a special.
One-off special, really. That's really what it was.
Yeah. So I still consider it Series 9 because it came between them. But then again, no, Series 9 was the very greatest series that it's so good it no longer exists.
Thank you for that continuity joke, Doug Naylor. I wish we could have seen it.
Yeah, especially in beginning where you're actually trying to explain what the hell happened at the end of Series 8.
Yeah, but that was purposely a gag. That was purposely a joke at this point.
And in the making of.
Yeah, but although let's be fair, at this point, it's kind of got to the point that it's like, we don't really need to know anymore. The show's back on anyway, so...
Yeah.
That's the only excuse we had, was basically, if that was the end, we'd like to know what was the full end of that whole series, but we digress.
Then they try... Then
they find out that...
When they're trying to actually, now do the operation, it's like, okay, what do you do when someone actually thinks you're someone else, but you're really not?
Yeah, it's kind of goodbye.
What are you talking about? Look at my back.
Yeah.
Snacky. A snack food dispenser, and there's a phone number for Milton Keynes.
Yeah. I wish there was a line where he said, like, yeah, I'm not proud of that either. just to insult Milton Keynes, because, Bill Bailey once did a joke, like, what was it, like Van Halen or some, like, rock band just went, like, Milton Keynes!
I can't remember thinking of Milton Keynes, but from what I hear, it's not a good place.
Well, if it's still a joke in 3 million years into the future, then there you go.
Yeah. So then they decide.
Well, basically,
one of the things we missed out was in the first act where Lister and Cat find a skeleton with a knife in it, and it turns in his back, but it turns out like there's DNA of his DNA on the knife.
Yeah, exactly. So somehow the body they found killed itself. And eventually they find out apparently this guy has managed to find a way of time traveling using the stasis booze.
Which is a throwback to Stasis Leak from Series 2.
Yeah, exactly. Although, again, we get the whole bit of, do you know how to do it? I don't know. I'm a snack machine, for God's sakes.
It is. But people are talking around you understand. It's like, I don't, because hey, I got it. Because you're a snack machine. Because I'm a snack machine. I got it.
Yeah.
But it turns out, because he's been around these people talking about it, about a snack.
It's one of those, it's like when you've been around that many people, if you've been around smart people, you pick up on this stuff. So there you go. There's a life lesson for you, kids.
So the idea is they travel back in time to steal past Lister's kidneys and put them in future Lister, but put a synthetic device to actually, to keep him alive up until that point where the kidneys get taken out.
So basically, we then have an episode that goes full circle with him being knocked out for 2 days, Rimmer running around the corridors wondering what that signal is. So it all beautifully falls into each other.
Yeah, and it turns out the Rimmer can't get into the elevator because Rimmer is already in the elevator trying to keep
past Rimmer. It's like, I'll ignore him, he's an idiot, but he's you. That's past me. Which means more.
He's just threatened to promote me. I'll promote you to the officers' quarters.
Yeah, exactly.
So they do the whole thing, pass out for 2 days, and that circles back. But go back to the present in this case.
It's actually funny enough because this is now the second time. Well, it's the second time they've gone back into the past and successfully fixed the problem. Well, setting up the problem they got themselves into.
Which one was that? Because all I can only think of is...
I was saying Twentico was essentially like, if you think about that...
Oh,
like,
that one. I completely agree.
Yeah, like I say, so this is the second time they've done a time travel thing, and it's managed to work in their favour.
Yeah, I was thinking lemons for a second.
Yeah, like I said, Lemons is a similar thing.
Yeah, and go back to the present. It turns out the lift wasn't promoted. He was demoted. Actually, was
He's still
demoted to the
demoted.
service area. And it turns out, Snacky is able to actually fix my drive, so I can actually go at half the speed of light. I was waiting for you.
I was waiting for you. It ends with him being tortured.
Oh, good. This was actually a fun episode.
Yeah, it's funny actually. I think about this. This episode's like a circle of torturing either Lister or Rimmer at some points.
Yeah, I think that's the best part. Chris Barry is a good actor.
Yeah,
I think all of them think he's one of the most experienced in acting.
Yeah, well, that said, I mean, Craig obviously is a very talented actor. I mean, there's something we'll bring up later on when we get to the episode I saw, but I'll keep that a little secret.
Mm.
But Craig is very proficient at what he does with his work, so just saying he's on the same par as him.
He was on Coronation Street for a long time.
Exactly. Hell, he was the one who basically said, like, hey, you're doing a special for Red Dwarf. It's like, hey, you can come up to Coronation Street and we'll do something there. It's like, that's how it even happened. That's why they even put Coronation Street in that in the first place.
It was a weird special.
I know, but, whatever. The good thing, the fact it's existed meant that 10, 11, and 12 can now exist.
Mm.
So there you go.
So overall, actually, thinking back, and I've also rewatched it, yeah, I actually would give this about 3.5 to 4 stars. It was actually fun. There was good character interactions. The first act is very reminiscent of Series 5.
Yeah, we're definitely, but again back to the whole adventurous Red Dwarf thing. First half's pretty good. Second half, it still manages to hold it manages to stay on its 2 feet, and yeah, it is a fairly decent episode.
Yeah, although the identity of Snacky was a bit drawn out, but the payoff of Milton Keynes joke is like,
yeah,
oh yeah, there's one person we think is someone is completely not. I think because we're all waiting for the reactions of it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that the audience knows the joke of, yeah, this isn't who you think it is, we're just waiting for the characters to catch up. Which, again, that could work in favor
which works a lot better than any mystery where you know the mystery, and it's just like, just figure it out already. Look at his phone, there's a text message there, he's probably deleted it, but look on the fucking RAM.
Yeah, but that depends how blatant you make it to the audience, because sometimes you can make it very subtle, they don't see, or just make it a big signpost saying, look here.
Or completely change it on your head.
Exactly. But that's a whole
It's like playing Heavy Rain for a second time through, you just don't do it.
Well, in that case, basically, like, we took away the supernatural thing that would have made more sense in the game in the first place. So...
You make it sound like Two Souls, and that was shit.
Yeah, but Two Souls... Yeah. That was just mad.
So what was out of 5, what would you give this?
I'd give it maybe a 3.5 as well. Yeah, it's a decent episode. Nice and miniature effects. Although I am questioning the fact that this episode ends with, does that mean Snacky is now just going to be stuck somewhere on the dwarf in the background now, or something?
They'll probably send him back, or just put him on the surface deck with the rest of the stuff they don't longer use, like the antimatter paddle and the triplicator.
Exactly. I mean, knowing how fans are, I mean, some people will probably say, we want more Snacky next time, so who knows?
People want that Simulink back from beginning in Series 10.
Yeah. And we got the Scuttle.
Still haven't seen that yet.
Yes. Last thing before we end is we also get a first appearance of the Scudder from way back. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And there's more Scudder mayhem next time.
Mm. Next time, it's Officer Rimmer.
So make sure your printers are unclogged because we're about to get one hell of a crazy mess.
Mickey, spoilers.